You know, one of the greatest lessons I ever learned was that success isn't something you pursue. It's something you attract by the person you become. Most people are out there working hard on their jobs, trying to make a living, and that's good. You've got to make a living. But the real question is, are you also making a life? Because the truth is, you can't earn much more than your personal development will allow. Your income, your opportunities, your level of influence, they'll rarely exceed your own growth. That's why I say, work harder on yourself than you do on your job. See, your job is what you're paid for, but your personal growth, that's what you're made for. The marketplace rewards value, and the more valuable you become, the more the world responds. Now, the mistake people make is thinking they have to chase better results. But better results come from becoming a better person. You can't change your destination overnight, but you can change your direction, and that begins the very day you decide to invest in yourself. When I was young, I used to think that if I just worked harder, I'd get ahead. I was busy, but not growing. Then a mentor told me, Jim, if you want things to change, you've got to change. If you want things to get better, you've got to get better. And I realized that success isn't about doing more, it's about becoming more. It's about upgrading your thinking, your habits, your knowledge, your discipline. Because life doesn't respond to need, it responds to deserve. That's a tough truth, isn't it? We all have needs, but the universe doesn't pay you for what you need. It pays you for the value you bring. So ask yourself, what am I doing each day to expand my value? What am I reading? Who am I listening to? What skills am I developing that will make me indispensable in my field? Every book you read, every class you take, every challenge you overcome, all of it adds to your internal wealth. And that inner wealth always precedes the outer one. Working on yourself also means mastering your emotions and your attitude. Your attitude is like the sail on a boat. It doesn't control the wind, but it determines the direction you go. Storms come for all of us, but the person who has worked on their mindset can still find a way forward. You see, discipline, patience, gratitude, these aren't traits you're born with. They're muscles you build. And the more you work on them, the stronger they get. Now, I'm not saying neglect your job. You should give your work your best. But remember, your job can make you a living. Self-development can make you a fortune, not just financially, but spiritually, emotionally, and relationally. The person who grows in wisdom, in self-awareness, in understanding, that person carries value into every situation. They don't just perform tasks, they transform environments. When you grow, everything around you starts to grow. Your relationships deepen, your confidence strengthens. Opportunities that were once invisible suddenly appear because you've developed the vision to see them. The world opens up for the person who's willing to open up themselves. So make it your mission to never stop improving. Set aside time each day, not just for work, but for you. Reflect, read, write, exercise, think, learn something that challenges your perspective. Because the most powerful investment you can ever make is in the person you see in the mirror. And if you remember nothing else from this message, remember this. Don't wish it were easier, wish you were better. Don't wish for fewer problems, wish for more skills. The world doesn't get easier, but you can get stronger. Work harder on yourself than you do on your job, and you'll discover that life itself will start working harder for you. Your mindset is the foundation of everything you experience in life. It's the lens through which you see the world, and how you see the world determines what you do about it. Two people can face the same problem. One sees it as a dead end, the other as a doorway. What's the difference? It's not luck, not talent, not even opportunity. It's the way they think. That's why I say you've got to work on your mindset every single day. Jim Rohn used to say, stand guard at the door of your mind. You've got to be careful about what you let in, because whatever gets inside your head will eventually shape your reality. Most people spend more time protecting their cars, their homes, their phones. but they leave their minds wide open to negativity, fear, and mediocrity. You've got to treat your mind like a garden. If you don't plant the seeds of growth, weeds of doubt will grow automatically. Every day, the world is feeding you ideas, opinions, and beliefs. Some of them build you up, most of them don't. The news, social media, even the conversations you entertain, all of it has an effect. So you've got to become the gatekeeper of your thoughts. You decide what stays, what goes, and what never gets in. Because once a belief takes root, it directs everything you do. A strong mindset isn't about ignoring reality. It's about interpreting it with wisdom. Things will happen that you can't control. The economy changes. People disappoint you. Plans fall apart. But your response, your inner dialogue, your interpretation of those events, that's where your power lies. You can't choose the wind, but you can adjust the sail. You can't stop the storm, but you can learn to dance in the rain. Working on your mindset means developing awareness. Awareness of how you think, how you react, what stories you tell yourself when life doesn't go as planned. It's being able to catch yourself in the act of negativity and say, wait a minute, is this thought serving me or sabotaging me? Because the truth is, your life moves in the direction of your dominant thoughts. Whatever you consistently think about, you eventually create. And that's why feeding your mind with the right material is non-negotiable. Read great books. Listen to powerful ideas. Surround yourself with people who lift your perspective, not lower it. You can't hang around complainers and expect to stay inspired. You can't listen to gossip all day and expect to think clearly. You've got to curate your influences as carefully as you curate your goals. Now, mindset isn't built in a day. It's built daily. You've got to practice it. Every morning, take a few moments to condition your mind. Read something uplifting. Reflect on your goals. Visualize the person you're becoming. Speak words that empower you instead of drain you. It's like training your mental muscles. Consistency beats intensity. Do it a little each day, and you'll notice how your entire outlook begins to shift. And here's something worth remembering. You can't have a positive life with a negative mind. You can't expect growth while clinging to excuses. Change begins the moment you take responsibility for how you think. Because when your mindset changes, everything changes: your habits, your energy, your results. You start seeing possibilities where others see problems. You start creating opportunities where others wait for them. So if you want to live on a higher level, you've got to think on a higher level. Don't let your circumstances dictate your state of mind. Let your state of mind dictate your circumstances. Work on your mindset daily. Guard it, feed it, stretch it. Because the mind is both a servant and a master, and the one you nurture will decide the quality of your life. And remember this: the greatest freedom you'll ever experience is the freedom to choose your thoughts. Choose wisely, and your life will follow suit. If you don't have a plan for your life, chances are you'll end up fitting into someone else's. And guess what they've planned for you? Not much. That's why I always say, you've got to have goals. And not vague wishes, not someday, dreams, real, written, measurable goals. Because a goal gives direction to your discipline. It gives purpose to your energy. Without a goal, even hard work can feel like running in circles. Jim Rohn used to tell us that discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. You can have the most beautiful dream in the world, but without the structure of discipline, it remains just that, a dream. So the first thing you've got to do is decide what you want. Not what other people expect of you, not what sounds nice, but what genuinely excites you. Because goals aren't just about achievement, they're about alignment. When your goals align with who you are becoming, life begins to take on a sense of meaning and flow. Now, setting goals is a skill, and like any skill, it can be learned. Start with the long term. Ask yourself, where do I want to be 5 years from now? 10 years from now, what kind of person do I want to become? What do I want to contribute? Then work backward. Break it down into yearly, monthly, and daily steps. That's how you turn vision into action. Because without a timeline, a goal is just a wish, and wishes don't move mountains, action does. But here's the key, your goals should stretch you. They should be just beyond your comfort zone. A goal that's too easy won't change you, and a goal that's too hard will discourage you. You need goals that demand more from you than you're currently giving. Goals that make you grow into someone new. Because success is not in the achieving, it's in the becoming. I remember Jim Rohn saying, "Don't set a goal to make $1 million for the money. Set it for what it will make of you to achieve it." That's the essence of true goal setting. The real reward of success is not what you get, but what you become. And the person you become in pursuit of your vision is worth far more than any material result. Working on your goals daily means revisiting them, refining them, and reaffirming them. Keep them visible. Read them every morning, write them out by hand. The act of writing your goals embeds them deeper into your consciousness. It's a declaration to yourself and to the world that you're serious about where you're headed. Now, there will be days when you lose motivation. That's normal, but if your vision is clear enough, you'll find a way through. Vision pulls you forward when discipline feels heavy. It keeps your why stronger than your how. That's why it's not enough to have goals. You need a vision, a picture of the life you're building, vivid enough to stir emotion and steady enough to anchor your effort. And remember, your goals don't have to be grand to be meaningful. Sometimes, the most important goals are the ones that help you become a better spouse, parent, leader, or friend. Personal goals, health goals, spiritual goals, they all matter. Because success in one area means very little if you're failing in others. So, make your goals a part of your daily life. Let them guide your decisions, shape your habits, and filter your opportunities. Review your progress, adjust your strategy, but never lose sight of your vision. Because the moment you start living with clear goals and a definite vision, life stops being something that happens to you. It becomes something that happens through you. And if you ever find yourself wondering whether the effort is worth it, remember this: the discipline of goal setting is not just about achieving more, it's about becoming more. No matter how skilled you are, how smart you are, or how ambitious you are, your success will always depend, in large part, on your ability to connect with people. Because life is not a solo act. It's a team performance. You can't get to the top alone. You climb there through relationships, through trust, respect, and genuine communication. Jim Rohn often said, "Success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines practiced every day. And one of those disciplines is how you treat people. How you listen, how you speak, how you make others feel. Communication is more than words, it's energy. It's the transfer of understanding. And if you can master that, you can master influence." Working on your communication daily doesn't just mean becoming a better speaker. It means becoming a better listener. Most people listen with the intent to reply, not to understand. But the greatest communicators, the ones who build real relationships, listen with empathy. They listen between the lines. They understand that what people often need isn't advice, it's acknowledgement. When someone feels heard, they naturally open up. That's the foundation of trust, and trust, once earned, becomes your greatest currency. In business, in leadership, in family, everything runs on the fuel of trust. Without it, even the smartest plans fall apart. With it, even imperfect plans can succeed. So every day, work on building trust through consistency. Do what you say you'll do. Keep your promises, even the small ones. Speak honestly but kindly. Integrity in communication builds character and reputation. Now, communication isn't only about words, it's about presence. People don't just hear what you say, they feel who you are. If your words don't match your energy, others will sense it. So work on being congruent. Speak from authenticity, not performance. When you're real, you don't have to convince anyone. The truth in your tone does it for you. And let's talk about relationships, because communication is the bridge. But relationships are the destination. The quality of your life will often mirror the quality of your relationships. If your relationships are strong, life feels rich. If they're strained, even success feels empty. Relationships take daily effort. They require patience, forgiveness, and a willingness to understand perspectives beyond your own. Jim Rohn used to say, "You can't succeed by yourself. It's too hard, it's too lonely." And he was right. No one achieves greatness in isolation. Every opportunity, every turning point, every open door often begins with a connection. That's why you should never burn bridges, build them. Even when people disappoint you, choose to respond with wisdom, not resentment. Working on your relationships also means elevating the people around you. Don't just look for what you can get, look for what you can give. Encourage others, recognize their efforts, help people see their own potential, because when you lift others, you rise too. Influence that uplifts is influence that lasts. And here's something crucial. The person you become determines the kind of relationships you attract. If you want better people in your circle, become a better person yourself. Work on your patience, your kindness, your ability to see the good in others. The better your character, the better your company. Communication and relationships are not about perfection, they're about connection. They're about showing up consistently with sincerity. Because people may forget what you said, but they'll never forget how you made them feel. So every day, refine your communication, nurture your relationships, and remember, success isn't built on information. It's built on connection. And if you want a simple principle to guide you, here it is. Talk to people as if they matter, because they do. That one habit, practiced daily, can change not just your relationships, but your entire life. You can't build a great life on a weak foundation, and that foundation is your health. Your body is the engine that drives your ambitions, and your energy is the fuel that powers every dream you've got. You can have the best intentions, the smartest plans, even the biggest goals, but if you wake up tired, sluggish, or burned out, none of that matters much. That's why I say, work on your health, your energy, and your habits every single day. Jim Rohn once said, "Take care of your body. It's the only place you have to live." It sounds simple, but it's profound. Because your physical condition affects everything: your mood, your focus, your confidence, your productivity. The way you treat your body is often a reflection of how much you value yourself. And the truth is, success requires energy. You can't be your best self if you're constantly running on empty. Taking care of your health doesn't have to mean extreme routines or perfect diets. It means developing respect for your body, eating foods that nourish you instead of just filling you, moving your body every day not as punishment but as a celebration of life, getting enough rest so your mind and body can recharge. It means being mindful about what you consume, not just physically, but mentally. Because junk thoughts can be just as harmful as junk food. See, your body and your mind are deeply connected. When you feel strong physically, your confidence grows. When you feel sluggish, your mindset follows. That's why discipline in one area often leads to discipline in others. If you can control your habits with food, movement, and rest, you'll find it easier to control your habits in business, finances, and relationships. The pattern of discipline repeats itself. Energy is another thing you've got to manage, because energy, not time, is your true currency. You can't add more hours to a day, but you can multiply the energy you bring into those hours. High energy doesn't just come from caffeine or adrenaline, it comes from alignment. When your habits support your goals, your body and mind cooperate. When they don't, you feel friction. That's why self-care isn't selfish, it's strategic. The more energy you have, the more you can give to your work, to your relationships, to your purpose. Now, let's talk about habits. Habits are the invisible architecture of your life. You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your habits. Every small decision compounds, quietly shaping your destiny. Jim Rohn often reminded us, the formula for success is a few simple disciplines practiced every day. It's not one big action, it's the accumulation of small, consistent ones. If you want to change your life, start by changing your daily routine. What do you do in the first hour of your day? What do you feed your body and your mind? Who do you spend your time with? What do you repeatedly allow or avoid? Your future is hidden inside your habits. And remember, good health and discipline aren't about perfection, they're about progress. You don't have to overhaul your entire life in one day. Start small, walk a little more, drink more water, read instead of scrolling, sleep instead of stressing. Every small act of self-respect builds momentum. Over time, that momentum becomes strength, physical, mental, and emotional. So work on your health because it sustains your vision. Work on your energy because it fuels your performance. Work on your habits because they determine your destiny. You can't control everything in life, but you can control what you put into your body, what you practice each day, and what you allow to drain or renew your energy. And here's the truth. When you feel strong, you think strong. When you think strong, you act strong. And when you act strong, life begins to respond in kind. Take care of your body, master your habits, and protect your energy because the person you're becoming depends on it. At the end of the day, success isn't just about what you achieve, it's about who you become and what you give. The real measure of a life well lived isn't the size of your bank account or the titles after your name. It's the quality of your character and the impact of your contribution. Because long after the numbers fade and the applause stops, what remains is the kind of person you chose to be. Jim Rohn used to say, character is a quality that must be carefully developed day by day. It's not something you're born with, it's something you build. It's the result of your decisions, your disciplines, and your daily habits. Every time you keep a promise, tell the truth, resist temptation, or do the right thing even when no one's watching, you're building character. And just like a muscle, it strengthens with consistent use. The world is full of talented people who never fulfilled their potential, not because they lacked skill, but because they lacked character. Talent can open doors, but only character keeps them open. Your integrity, your reliability, your humility, these are the things that sustain success over the long run. You can't cheat your way to lasting greatness. Eventually, the person you are will catch up with the person you pretend to be. Working on your character also means working on your values, deciding what you stand for before life tests you. Because it's easy to be honest when honesty costs nothing. The real test is when doing the right thing comes with a price. And make no mistake, you'll face those moments. But every time you choose principle over convenience, you build something inside you that no one can take away. Now, character alone isn't enough. It needs expression, and that's where contribution comes in. Life becomes meaningful when it stops being just about you. When you begin to use what you've learned, what you've earned, and who you've become to help others, that's when life expands. You see, money and success can fill your pockets, but contribution fills your soul. Contribution doesn't have to be dramatic. You don't have to change the whole world, just someone's world. It could be through encouragement, mentorship, generosity, or simply being present when someone needs you. Every act of service, no matter how small, creates ripples that go far beyond what you can see. Jim Rohn once said, "The purpose of life is to grow so that you can give." That's the real cycle of success. You grow in knowledge, wisdom, and skill, not just for yourself, but so you have more to offer. The more you become, the more you can contribute. The more you contribute, the more meaningful your growth becomes. And here's something powerful. Contribution keeps you humble. It reminds you that everything you've been blessed with, your time, your talents, your resources, are tools, not trophies. They're meant to be used in service of something larger than yourself. When you live that way, Success stops being about status and starts being about significance. Working on your character and contribution every day creates inner peace. You can sleep at night knowing that you've lived honestly, treated people fairly, and left each situation a little better than you found it. That's real wealth, not just the accumulation of things, but the accumulation of meaning. So as you chase your goals and build your future, never forget to build yourself. Strive not only to make a living, but to make a difference. Work on becoming a person of depth, not just achievement, someone whose presence adds value wherever they go. Because, in the end, the most powerful legacy you can leave isn't what you've done, it's who you've become. And if you want a simple rule to live by, here it is. Live in such a way that your life